This is session 5 of our Ramadan lecture series. In this session, we would like to keep it short and light. We intend to discuss about the wisdom behind the using of the lunar calendar for the Islamic calendar system. So to do this, we have to contrast it with the solar calendar system. So basically, we are going to speak about just 2 points in this session. And the first point being why, both the points are related to this issue, why we use the lunar calendar system and not the solar calendar system. The first point being that let us consider for a while we are using the solar calendar system for the keeping track. We do use, but we are not. Why we are not using it for the Islamic calendar system? We're trying to highlight some of the wisdoms behind it. So the first point is, let us take the case of any month. May 31, for example, some arbitrary dates. May 31, you look at the sky, and June 1, you look at the sky, and there is no way for you to determine that a new month has begun. Absolutely no way, no mechanism by which you can definitively say that the previous month has ended and the new month has begun, because nothing observable has changed at all. Now let us take the case of the lunar system for keeping track of months. Now in the lunar calendar system, it's very much observable. So the month ends, the lunar month ends, and the marking and the new month begins by the sighting of the crescent moon. So it's an observable phenomenon. So it's easy for all of us to understand, to determine when the previous month has ended and the new month has begun. So this is one of the points. And since Islam is easy, since Islam is made for all, so this is something very observable, and hence this is one of the reasons why the lunar calendar system has been prescribed. So solar calendar system, you actually don't have the practical difficulties. How do you determine that a new month has begun and the old month has ended, the previous month has ended? There's no way to tell by looking at the sky. But for the lunar calendar system, it's been made so easy. Not just the beginning of the month and the end of the month, but keeping track of the number of days in the month. We get a pretty good idea by looking at the phase of the moon. So that's one of the reasons why the lunar calendar system has been prescribed for the Islamic calendar system. The second point is actually a little bit more important, and that is some of the practical difficulties or problems that would arise from using the solar calendar system are eliminated by the use of the lunar calendar system. So say for example, let us decide for a while, okay, we will fix January as the month of fasting. We'll fix January as the month of fasting. So let us for a while see or try to explore what are some of the problems that can arise by using the solar month as with this example, as if we were to decide it for the month of fasting. So now the earth is spherical, and because of this spherical shape of the earth, January is, let us discuss for northern hemisphere. It's true. It's the reverse basically for the southern hemisphere. So January will observe its winter season. January is winter basically in the northern hemisphere, and summer in the southern hemisphere. So let us take the example of Kolkata, or let us take the example of London. So London is further towards the North Pole, so the extremities are highlighted better. So let us take the case of London. Since it's winter time, the daylight is about some 6 hours. So someone who's in London, if January were to be decided, the solar month of January were to be decided as the month of fasting, he would have to fast just 6 hours. And for the same month, someone in the southern hemisphere close to the pole, say Sydney, I'm not exactly sure of the daylight, but it's close to the pole, and it's in the southern hemisphere. Definitely, I'm sure about that. It's summertime in Sydney, so the daylight would be some close to 18 hours. Now this would be injustice. because Islam should be just to all. It should be fair to all. Someone has to fast for 6 hours and someone else has to fast for 18 hours. I mean, that's not fair. Now, when using the lunar calendar for the Islamic calendar system, you completely eliminate this. You completely eliminate this. How do you do that? You don't have to do anything basically. It's the way the lunar calendar system works. The lunar calendar, the lunar year basically is approximately 354 days. So it's shorter than the solar calendar by about 11 days. So every year it shifts by 11 days. It shifts by 11 days. So what essentially happens is, so the month of Ramadan, it's not fixed at any particular, it does not correspond to any particular solar month. So this year it has corresponded to June, July 2015, Ramadan 1436. So a few years back it was in December, and then it slowly progressed through November, October, September, August, July, June. And then again it will proceed, it will continue to shift by 11 days, and ultimately it will move around by 11 days and 11 days, and ultimately it move through May, April, then March, February, January, and back to December, and the cycle will repeat. Now this cycle itself takes about 33 years. So one cycle takes 33 years. So I mean, so let us consider this year. Let us consider this year. The month of Ramadan has coincided in June, July. About June, I think it's June 17 to July, I think it's 15 or 16, whatever that is. So it'll again slowly move from June. If it's June 17 this year, subtract 11 days. So next year it should be June 6, and then subtract another 11 days. So next year it'll start somewhere around May 25, May 25, 26. So it'll continuously shift, and by the time again it comes back to June 17 or roundabout, it'll take 33 years. Now what essentially happens is, in this 33 years, let us again take the case of London. So there will be a period in which it may be the case that the people who are residing in London, who are staying in London, who are living in London, may have to fast for 6 hours. But there would be other cases, there would be those cases where they would have to fast for 18 hours. And on an average, it will be 12 hours. And sometimes it will be also 12 hours, sometimes 13 hours, sometimes 11 hours. So on an average, it will be 12 hours. And this average is same wherever you may reside, irrespective of your place of residence, irrespective of the place where you stay, where you live. So London, because in January in London it may be 6 hours, whereas in summertime, maybe say June, for example, it would be about 18 hours. Similarly for Sydney, in June it's winter time, so it will be short of 6 hours. And for January, when it's summertime, it may be 18 hours. So in between, it will be 12 hours and 13 hours and 11 hours. So basically, in 33 years, one cycle completes, for which the average fasting time would be 12 hours per day. And for equator, it's always 12 hours. For places slightly above the equator or slightly below the equator, it will be, the average is constant. So this system is actually fair and just for all human beings who are living on the face of the earth. So now you double the number of years, 33. Why I say double, I'll just try to explain that as well. So 33 into 2 is 66 years. So in 66 years, the cycle repeats. And what's 66 years? I mean, there is nothing specific for each of us. It's different, but we can consider that to be a fairly good average for the average lifespan of a human being. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he himself, he lived for some 63 years, 62, 63 years. So we can consider 66 years as the average lifespan of a human being, and the cycle repeats twice. So on an average, for every human being, he keeps, he fasts for 12 hours during the month of fasting, during the month of Ramadan, in his entire life. On average, 12 hours per day for the month of fasting, that is, or whenever he wants to keep fast. So this, we have tried to highlight the superiority of using, it removes any bias. Whereas in the solar system, this was an impossibility. If you used January, if you fix January, people of London would have no difficulties. They may fast every day, and they would claim that they have greater rewards because fasting, through fasting, you gain rewards. Obviously, you gain rewards. So this cannot be true. For some, it's easier to gain the rewards, and for others, it's difficult. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot make this system so unbalanced, so out of equilibrium, so imperfect, so imprecise, so inaccurate. It cannot be. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen in his divine wisdom to consider for us, for our ease and convenience, and to be fair to all human beings, that they have equal opportunity. He has determined for us the lunar calendar system for observing for the Islamic calendar system, and we have highlighted it through the month of fasting, through the example of fasting. So these are the 2 points basically that we wanted to highlight. The first being that lunar calendar system is an observable phenomena, so it's easy for all of us, and the second being, which we have highlighted, that this system is actually fair to all human beings on the face of the earth, and we have highlighted this through the example of fasting. So that's it for this session. We'll continue with other important sessions pertaining to Ramadan in the future sessions, inshallah.